But he had a beautiful bunt his last time up. That was in the 8th.
They're creeping in on the corners.
Baseball fans, have you ever witnessed a bullpen performance so dominant, so absolutely lights out? It feels like something out of a dream. Tonight, we saw just that. In an extra inning showdown that had us on the edge of our seats, the pitching clinic put on display by the Blue Jays wasn't just good, it was historic. Get ready, because you're about to dive deep into a game where every pitch, every strategic move, and every heroic moment kept us guessing until the very last out. This is Baseball Extra, and trust me, you don't want to miss a single second of this epic recap. Welcome back to Baseball Extra. What a game we just witnessed, a true extra inning classic that will be talked about for a long time. Heading into the top of the 11th inning, the tension was palpable. The score was locked, and every single pitch felt like it carried the weight of the entire series. The Rays, fighting hard, brought in their sixth pitcher of the night, right-hander Kevin Kelly. This guy's journey to the mound is interesting. He was acquired from the Colorado Rockies in December of 22, originally a Cleveland draftee back in 2019. Now, Kelly throws a fastball, mostly a two-seamer, around 91 miles per hour. This is crucial context for what's about to unfold. Up first for the Blue Jays was Tyler Heineman. You might think with a two-seam fastball coming in, often designed for ground balls, a bunt might be out of the question here. But Heineman, with his beautiful bunt in the 8th inning still fresh in our minds, showed he's capable of anything. The Rays' infielders were creeping in, clearly expecting a bunt, but Heineman surprised everyone, lining one to center. It looked like it might drop for a hit, but it was caught. Ernie Clement, who had taken a few steps towards third, couldn't get back in time to tag up. It might not have been hit deep enough anyway, but that initial jump showed just how aggressive the Blue Jays were playing. They were hungry for a lead, and every single runner mattered. So, with one out, the spotlight shifted to Andre Jimenez. He took a pitch low and inside for ball one. Now, our analysts here at Baseball Extra were thinking this could be a great matchup for Jimenez. Kevin Kelly's two-seamer tends to be down in the zone, a pitch Andre often handles well. While this played out, the Rays were making all sorts of strategic moves behind the scenes. They had already used so many pitchers, and their lineup was a jigsaw puzzle. Junior Caminero, who started as their designated hitter, was now surprisingly at third base. And a new face, Hunter Fiducia, entered as the new catcher for the Rays, with Tristan Gray moving from third to short. These are the kinds of shifts you see in deep extra inning games when managers are trying to squeeze every last drop out of their roster. Back to the action. Jimenez had a 2-1 count, and he ripped the ball to left field. This looked like a surefire hit, destined to sink in front of the left fielder. But then, magic happened. Chandler Simpson, who, to be fair, has had his moments in the outfield, made an absolutely sprawling, unbelievable catch. He slid, gloved it, and then popped right up alert, just in case Clement had strayed too far from third. What a play! It was a line drive, well struck by Jimenez, but Simpson's athleticism in left field denied the Blue Jays a potential scoring opportunity. 2 outs now in the top of the 11th. This game was a chess match. In every single move, every defensive gem was amplifying the drama. With 2 outs, up stepped George Springer, who was 0 for 4 on the night, looking to break his slump and break this tie. How many times have we seen these two teams play these tight, low-scoring affairs? Early in the season, they had 2 3-1 games, both won by Tampa Bay. Tonight felt like another chapter in that intense rivalry. As Springer battled, the Rays had 2 strikes on him. Then, something happened that's become a recurring theme with Springer, a challenge for catcher's interference. The Blue Jays were challenging, and we've seen this with George more than any other player in the majors. There's just something about his backswing, his positioning in the box. It happens a lot. George immediately reacted, looking to the dugout, signaling something had happened. It reminded us of a similar play just days before against the Orioles. The umpires convened, the replay was checked, and the decision came down. No catcher's interference. Toronto lost their challenge, and Springer stayed in the box with those 2 strikes. Now, you have to wonder if George was torn, part of him wanting to stay up and hit, but knowing interference gets a runner on. The game continued, and what happened next was vintage Springer. He drove a double into left field. Ernie Clement, who was at second, rounded third and was on his way home to score the go-ahead run. Time and time again, George Springer comes up with a big hit in crucial moments, and he did it again here tonight in Tampa. He stayed back on that breaking ball, got full extension, and drove it over Camanero's head down the left field line. Clemens scored easily, and Springer was absolutely pumped up. It was 2-1 Blue Jays in the top of the 11th, and the dugout erupted. This clutch hitting was exactly what baseball extra viewers love to see. So, the Blue Jays, thanks to George Springer's RBI double, took a 2-1 lead in the top of the 11th. Yeri Rodriguez was getting ready in the bullpen, preparing to work the bottom half of the inning. With Clement now safely scored, Springer was at second base, a huge threat to steal. George, with his 16 for 16 stolen base record this season, is a nightmare for opposing pitchers. The Rays pitcher, focused on the batter, had to be aware. Springer, ever the opportunist, was playing aggressive. He wasn't going on the next pitch, which was in the air down the left field line, headed for the seats. George was already halfway to third when it landed foul. His aggressive base running, his incredible game awareness, it's all part of why he's so valuable, especially for a player turning 36. This guy just doesn't slow down. The at-bat concluded with a ground out to the right side, retiring the batter and the Blue Jays, but not before they got that crucial run. A 2 out, 2-strike RBI single by George Springer gave the Blue Jays the lead. Yeri Rodriguez was indeed coming in, and the Blue Jays had a 2-1 advantage heading into the bottom of the 11th. The Yankees were trailing big against Minnesota, adding even more significance to this game for the Blue Jays. But it wasn't going to be easy. The Rays were sending their three best hitters to the plate, Yandy Diaz, Brandon Lowe, and Junior Caminero. And the man tasked with shutting them down? Braden Fisher, who has already pitched 2 innings 5 times this season. The stage was set for an epic bottom of the 11th. This is high-stakes baseball at its finest. Braden Fisher, the young right-hander, stepped onto the mound for the Blue Jays, facing the heart of the Rays' order. First up was Yandy Diaz, and Fisher quickly got ahead, 0-2. The Blue Jays had already pitched what was essentially a 9-inning shutout, giving up a run in the first and nothing since, a testament to their pitching staff's incredible movement and command. From Dominguez to Hoffman, and now Fisher, the bullpen had been lights out. IKF, the Blue Jays' second baseman, was trying to keep Simpson, who was at second due to the extra inning rule, close. Diaz then hit a chopper to third. Clement charged, threw, but didn't get him. Infield hit. Guerrero was screaming for a challenge, but the Blue Jays had lost their challenge earlier. However, in the 8th inning and beyond, you can ask for one even if you've used yours. Vladdy, however, seemed convinced it wasn't worth it. So, first and third, nobody out for the Rays. Diaz had placed that chopper perfectly, and his hustle out of the box beat the throw. Now the Rays had a plethora of options. Brandon Lowe was up 0-4 with 3 strikeouts on the night, but they could play a safety squeeze, a bunt, so many things in their favor with great speed at third. Fisher's first pitch to Lowe was a strike. Simpson, the speedy runner at third, was already taking aggressive leads, breaking on contact during foul balls. Ernie Clement, at third base, was shadowing Simpson, trying to keep him honest. Tyler Hyman, the catcher, was out in front of home plate, relaying defensive alignments for this critical first and third situation. The contact play was on. The Rays were going for it with Simpson on any ball put in play. You could see it as soon as the ball was hit. He was off and running. This was going to be a nail-biter. The pressure was immense. 2-1 Blue Jays, but the Rays were threatening, first and third, nobody out in the bottom of the 11th. Fisher delivered a 1-2 pitch, chopped foul. Simpson was coming home, no doubt about it. That speed forces the defense to make perfect plays. Fisher, however, stayed composed. He delivered a high fastball, and Lowe chased it. Strikeout, 1 down. That was a massive out. What was interesting was the Blue Jays infield had backed up, playing for a double play, almost conceding the run, and then Fisher comes up with another huge strikeout. That was the Blue Jays' 16th strikeout of the night. The Rays' season high in strikeouts was 17, set back in April against the Padres. They were quickly approaching that mark. Now the infielders were back to double play depth, facing Junior Caminero, who has 44 home runs on the year, a major threat. Fisher started him with a ball outside. Elite speed at third with Simpson, and Diaz at first. Fisher came back with a called strike on a curveball that caught the corner. The count went to 2-1, and Caminero was thinking about that curveball. But Fisher is a pitcher who knows how to adjust. He then threw a slider that just barely nicked the corner, making it 2-2. Caminero, a dangerous hitter, was locked in the battle. Fisher, the big right-hander, came set and delivered the 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. 2 down. He went back to the fastball and completely fooled Caminero. Trey Savage started the game with 9 strikeouts, and the bullpen had been rock solid. Braden Fisher now had his 3rd strikeout in just an inning and 2/3. This kid is unbelievable. Fisher's fastball, often overshadowed by his excellent slider and curveball, snuck up on Caminero. Hitters tend to forget about it, expecting the off-speed stuff, and then he zips a fastball by them. Up next was Josh Lowe, who immediately popped one back out of play for a 0-1 count. It's that classic sequence. Curveball, slider, and then with 2 strikes, he can blow that fastball right past you. And he's a rookie. What an incredible job he's done for the Blue Jays this season. We remember his spring training outing against the Yankees, facing Judge and other big hitters, where he made a lasting impression on his manager. Fisher then got Lowe to swing and miss for a 0-2 count. They remembered that outing against the Yankees, a night game with a regular season atmosphere, 10,000 people, the Yankees lineup. It was a big outing for him, and he's become a cornerstone of this bullpen. With a 0-2 count, Fisher delivered the next pitch high, and Lowe swung and missed again. Strikeout. Ball game over. Braden Fisher with an unbelievable job here in extra innings, delivering 2 scoreless frames. What a major league debut for Trey Savage, who set the tone with 9 strikeouts in 5+ innings. And then the bullpen, from Savage to Fisher and everyone in between, was absolutely incredible. Fisher, who gave up that swinging bunt, was responsible for only one of the 4 hits allowed by the Blue Jays tonight. The Rays struck out a season-high 18 times against the Blue Jays pitching. Unbelievable pitching performance. Beyond incredible pitching, the defense was also outstanding tonight. Andre Jimenez was a wizard at shortstop, making a terrific play in the 8th inning to take away another potential scoring opportunity for the Rays. But truly, the bullpen was the story. 6 innings by the bullpen, giving up only 1 hit, that little dribbler in the 11th inning. An unbelievable job by the entire pitching staff in this game. The Blue Jays beat the Rays 2-1 in a thrilling opener to this series. This was a complete team effort, showcasing the depth and resilience of the Blue Jays. Every single player contributed, whether it was Springer's clutch hit, Simpson's unbelievable catch, or the collective dominance of the bullpen. This victory is huge for the Blue Jays, especially given the context of the league. With other teams vying for position, every win, especially one snatched in extra innings on the road, counts for double. The strategic decisions by the coaching staff, the composure of the young pitchers, and the veteran leadership of players like Springer all converged to create this memorable win. This wasn't just a game. It was a statement. A statement that the Blue Jays are forced to be reckoned with, capable of grinding out wins against tough opponents, even when the chips are down and the pressure is at its peak. This kind of Blue Jays baseball is what championship teams are made of, demonstrating grit, talent, and an unwavering will to win. So, to recap this phenomenal game, the Blue Jays emerged victorious, 2-1, in an 11-inning thriller against the Rays. George Springer delivered the game-winning RBI double in the top of the 11th. But the real heroes of the night were the pitchers. Trey Savage set a phenomenal tone with 9 strikeouts in his major league debut, and the bullpen, especially Braden Fisher, sealed the deal with a dominant performance, combining for 18 strikeouts against the Rays offense. Andre Jimenez also showcased incredible defensive prowess at shortstop. This was a pitching masterclass from start to finish. What does this mean for the rest of the series? It sets a high bar. We expect more intense matchups, more strategic battles, and more incredible plays. This is the kind of baseball that keeps fans coming back for more. And here at Baseball Extra, we'll be breaking down every moment for you. We'll be looking ahead to tomorrow's game, analyzing pitching matchups, and discussing how this huge win could impact the team's momentum moving forward. The energy around this team is infectious, and performances like tonight's only amplify that excitement. Don't miss our next episode for all the insights. Before we sign off from this incredible night of baseball, we want to thank you, our loyal Baseball Extra viewers, for tuning in. If you enjoyed this deep dive into an unforgettable game, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Extra channel. Your support helps us bring you more in-depth analysis, exclusive content, and all the baseball news you crave. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll see you next time on Baseball Extra.